Okay, today we're talking about chatterbaits, specifically chatterbait trailers. And I had this idea because the last few trips, the chatterbait has been by far my favorite bait, the best producing bait. Really, for the whole year, it's been like that. I really love throwing a chatterbait. Obviously, everyone throws a jackhammer. It's a great chatterbait. But there's a lot of trailers you can use. And each one that you put on there is going to give the bait a completely different look. You know, just for instance, recently, my last trip out, couple days ago, I was catching them with a fluke. You know, you could do it with a regular Zoom fluke. You know, you just want to cut off about a ½ inch or so, just so it fits snug up there. You could also do it with the Z-Man scented jerk shads. It's going to be a little bit more durable. But using this trailer is going to give the bait a great hunting action. You hear that all the time. You know, it's running straight and all of a sudden it kicks off to one side, kicks off the other. Very good action. Very good for warmer conditions, in my opinion, from what I've seen. So the fluke is a great option, but there's so many more choices, and I'll show you some of my favorites. I just put together a box recently because I had all these bags with, you know, 5 baits, 4 baits, so I just decided to put them all in a box. You know, normally I keep all the baits in the bag, but you know what? I decided to just go ahead and put them all together just because I had so many half packs laying around. So I'm going to show you some of my favorite trailers. Now, obviously the fluke's a good one, but it's not the only one I use. I use a lot of different trailers. Now there's 3 that are very similar. You know, they're all kind of copies of each other, if you could say. You know, you got the Lake Fork Magic Shad. You know, it's got the segmented tails. This was the original, very good chatterbait trailer. Then came along the Zacco, you know, from Yamamoto, designed by Brett Hite, Mr. Chatterbait himself. Very similar, but different in a way, and I'll explain all that. And then you got the Z-Man Razor Shads, which you can see actually cut out some of the belly here. I'll show you the original one. It's a trick I learned from one of the Z-Man pros. You know, you just cut out a little bit just to make it fit a little bit better, to slim the whole profile. You know, it's not a great cut by any means. I just cut off a chunk of it. So I'll kind of walk you through these 3. So these are probably my 3 favorite chatterbait trailers just because of this style. You know, it kind of gives you the best of all benefits. You know, it's going to have a nice tight action, but it will still hunt a little bit. It does a great job of imitating bluegill, shad, a lot of different bait fish. So the Magic Shad, this is the one I started using, you know, like a lot of people, and it's very good bait, very durable for being this kind of plastic. It's going to stand up a lot better than the Zacco, which I think it's softer. You could just see, looking at it, it's just going to, you know, just a little test there. It's a lot more soft, so it's going to be a little bit more wide action. Again, not very durable, but it does give your bait more action, and you can't argue with the success. It catches fish. Now, the benefit of the Razor Shad is that Elastec is super durable, so you can catch a lot of fish on one bait, where both these baits are not going to even come close to being as durable as the Razor Shads. So these are all kind of similar. Like I said, you know, they have that great overall chatterbait look that you want. You know, it's going to let your bait do its thing, but they all have little different benefits and downsides. So those are 3 kind of all-around baits that you could use. A couple other more unique ones. You know, you got the Berkley Power Stinger. This one's relatively new. It's a lot more durable. It's really kind of a denser plastic. It's going to give your chatterbait a lot tighter action as you're reeling it in, which is good when it's cold. This bait also has power bait built into it, so it is going to have that added appeal of scent. It's got this cool tail action too. I think they call it the honeycomb. So it's kind of the opposite of that gilly, you know, the swim bait, if you've ever used that, where there's like bumps on the outside. This is kind of like reverse, where there's bumps on the inside. So it gives that bait a lot more durable texture. So again, it's more durable for being just regular plastic, and it's going to have a nice tight vibrating action. So I do like this. I've caught some fish with this one. I got it in a couple different colors. Now, one more that I really like that's very a lot more aggressive action, I'd say, is the Big Bite Baits Kamikaze Swim On, and you can see there's a couple different sizes of it. It's got these holes in the tail that's supposedly going to let water through, and you add bubbles or whatever. I don't know if that's really true, or if, you know, I'm making that up, but I thought that's what it said when I read the description of these. But it's going to give the bait a more aggressive action. Caught a lot of fish with this, you know, especially the bigger one. It's going to have a lot of tail action, and if you don't trim it, it's going to make the whole chatterbait look a lot bigger, which is pretty cool. You know, just something different. You know, everyone's throwing chatterbait, so if it, you're throwing one with a little bit longer profile, it may stand out a little bit more. But you really can't go wrong with either of these. They come in a lot of colors, and big bite bait stuff's pretty inexpensive. So you can buy a lot more compared to the Yamamoto stuff or the Lake Fork stuff. One more that I really like, and it's a new one, and it's the Crush City from Rapala freeloader, and it's very similar to the Spunk Shad if you've used that. So it's going to be kind of similar to the Fluke, where you have just one tail. This obviously has a split tail, but it's going to be similar to that, where you're going to get that hunting action out of the bait. This one and the Spunk Shad is going to do the same thing, where your bait's going to look a lot different. It's going to hunt side to side. I keep saying that, but that's a big deal, especially if you're trying to trigger reactions from fish, or especially when you're ripping free from grass, which is a great way to catch them. Having that extra action or different action will get more bites. So the Rapala Crush City freeloader right here. One final one that I'll talk about is Berkeley again, and this is the deal. So it's a kind of like a Fluke style body, but then it's got these double tails at the end of it. So this is very good for imitating bait fish. Again, it's Berkeley, so it's got power bait into it. So the deal is another one. This is the smaller size. It works great on smaller chatterbaits, like if you throw the Mini Max or any of those. Very good option. Again, you have that scent and kind of a wild kicking action, which can be really good at times. So those are some of my favorite chatterbait trailers. I mean, really, you can put all kinds of trailers on the back of it. A lot of people throw Kitex, the Swing Impact Fat, which is good. I've done it, but it definitely slows the action of the bait, in my opinion. It works. Some guys even flip the boot tail up to give it a little bit different look. Give it a little more thumping action. There's a lot of things you can do to change the action of your chatterbait. Number one is a chatterbait trailer. Also with that Kitech, or any bigger trailer, it's going to help the bait rise a little bit. You could also do that with heavier pound test. Again, that's something you can do too. If you're fishing really shallow water or above grass, there's a lot of things you can do to make your bait ride higher in the water column, or higher in the water column. So these are my favorite chatterbait trailers. Like I said, it's just an idea I had after putting this box together and just catching some fish on chatterbaits lately. So which ones am I missing? What else is out there? What should I be trying? Is there any other chatterbait trailers that I missed? Let me know in the comments below. And I really appreciate all the new subscribers. It's still not a huge channel, but I've been noticing that subscriber count ticking up. So thank you if you're new. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'm going to continue doing these videos. Maybe even do some videos on the water. I do fish. I don't just sit in the garage and talk about it. So definitely subscribe if you like it. Thanks for watching. Here's some other videos you might like.